Before them, there was the website called Andy Kaufman Lives. This is a rambling, almost incoherent mess with the intention of promoting the idea that his death was a hoax. It comes with several accounts to deepen the mystery.
I met someone I believed to be Andy back in the late 80s. I was living as a beach bum in Santa Monica. He used to wander with the homeless crowd. He said his name was Eric. We became fairly good friends. He was a blast. One night he was homeless, digging in the trash and sleeping under the pier. Then later, he'd be a street musician, doing bad Elvis and Everly Brothers songs. Sometimes he'd be wrapped in a blanket like an invalid in a wheelchair, asking for money. One time I said, "You know, you look like that dude from Taxi." He went off. He started screaming and throwing things, and later he apologized. Back then I didn't think much of it. I just feared he grew a long biker beard and wanted out of the spotlight, or lost his fame and was kind of messed up about it. It wasn't until recently that I discovered you guys think he faked it on purpose, to get attention or something.
My friend's dad was in Jamaica in June of 1984. He was in the elevator going up to his hotel room when a guy who was a dead ringer for Kaufman walked on. He was such a dead ringer, in fact, that Scott's dad said jokingly, "Hey, aren't you supposed to be dead?" Kaufman looked straight at him and said, "I don't know what you're talking about." So he pushed on and said, "Anyone ever tell you look like Andy Kaufman?" Andy replied, "I have never heard of Andy Kaufman in my life," and said nothing else until he quickly exited the elevator. Scott's dad swears on his life that he met Andy Kaufman that day.
I've lived in Taos, New Mexico for 2 years. Andy K is here, and it doesn't seem to be the most important kept secret locally. People just seem to respect that all men have their reasons for living private lives. According to 2 people that I know fairly well, it's him. He doesn't talk to anyone, he's pretty weird all around, but supposedly it's definitely him. I also found out my friends think he's hooked up with the Llama Foundation, a new age cult here. They kind of keep to themselves. They're these real deal old hippie types, which are very common here. You know, this is a transient town. There's ski bums like myself, young hippies. You get the picture. Well, anyway, a friend of mine who works at the Taos Cow, which is an organic ice cream place near the mountains, says she has heard that Andy Kaufman goes there. She herself has never seen him, nor really knows who he is other than the guy from Taxi. But she has heard him being somewhat of a regular, I guess. You have to understand that Taos is kind of a weird town in that there's a lot of land and little communities here. You can disappear if you really want to. Patrick, Taos, New Mexico.